Not long ago, I was playing golf with a friend who is an attorney. Between shots, he began telling me how much he detested his job. "Why?" I asked. "You have to understand my business," he said with a huff. "My day basically consists of writing nasty letters on behalf of my clients. Then we get nasty letters back. This goes on for a few weeks until my clients realize how many billable hours they've run up. Then they start getting nasty with me. The whole business," he said with a shake of his head, "is kind of nasty." "Why don't you do something else?" I asked. From the look on his face, you would have thought I suggested he stop breathing. "Do something else?" he said. "You don't understand. I live in a big house. I have 2 big cars. My wife and I take big trips. She runs up big bills. What else am I going to do?" "I don't know," I said. "But it all sounds like a big mistake to me." The sad part is my buddy is a bright, talented guy. He's giving up a lot. With his experience and law degree, there are plenty of other things he could do. But he doesn't believe that's realistic. Why? Because, like most of us, he can't tolerate the thought of a temporary loss of status and income. Unfortunately, that's usually the price of admission. As the psychologist Lawrence G. Bolt once wrote, "The life you spend doing what you love is a different life indeed from putting your life out for hire to the highest bidder. The only way you can say it makes no difference is to say life makes no difference." These words hit me between the eyes when I first read them 8 years ago. At the time, I had spent 16 years working on Wall Street. My job paid well, but I had grown increasingly bored with what I was doing. I loved analyzing the market, but I'd grown tired of having the same repetitive conversations with my clients about their accounts every day. So I left to write about the financial markets instead. My coworkers thought I'd lost my mind. "Nobody gets to the point where he has all these clients, all these assets, and all this income, and then just walks away," one colleague told me, incredulous. "If you leave, you're really going to regret it." But I haven't. Not for 1 minute. If anything, I wish I'd done it sooner. Joseph Campbell was right. Follow your bliss. If you follow your bliss, he wrote, you put yourself on a kind of track which has been there all the while waiting for you. And the life that you ought to be living is the one you are living. I think the person who takes a job in order to live, that is to say, just for the money, has turned himself into a slave. That sounds harsh, I know. After all, we all have commitments and responsibilities. But that doesn't mean change isn't possible. It hurts to spend your days doing something that is not really suited to your talents, especially when you know you could be doing far more than you are. Work you enjoy is invigorating. You're expressing yourself, making an impact. As the British historian and philosopher R.G. Collingwood said, "Perfect freedom is reserved for the man who lives by his own work, and in that work does what he wants to do." Too many of us approach the job market thinking of nothing more than money, security, and benefits. I'm not saying these things aren't important. They are. None of us would survive long without them. But for a true sense of fulfillment, there has to be more than just money and security. Just as there has to be more to retirement than golf and television. It's tough to feel genuinely satisfied without expressing your abilities, even if your primary talent is raising happy, productive kids. As George Bernard Shaw said, "This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being thoroughly worn out before you are thrown on the scrap heap, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy." Some may call Shaw an idealist, a dreamer. Perhaps. But life is not a practice round. this is it. You can work a job, you can pursue a career, or you can choose a vocation. The choice is yours. The essay I've just read to you is called The Key to Perfect Freedom by Alexander Green, drawn from his book called The Secret of Shelter Island.